Good evening all and welcome to another video on All Hail the Ale. Tonight we're going for a beer that could potentially be out of this world. The only way we'll find out is drink it. Which beer is it? Well, it's this one. It is the Cosmic Crush Raspberry Sour from the Overworks projects at Brewdog. What can I tell you about it? Well, it's got some very, very funky kind of bottle artwork there. You know, obviously space inspired, and it's a 4.5% sour beer with apparently raspberry flavours. It's brewed obviously in Scotland, and the ingredients are listed as water and raspberries. Raspberries being the second most populous ingredient, which is always a good sign. Malted barley, wheat, oats, spelt, yeast and hops. And it says that Overworks Cosmic Crush range are 100% mixed culture Scottish sour ales. Aged in Furders, I assume it says Furders, I've not seen that word before. Anyway, and fermented on whole fruit. They're available on planet Earth, which, funnily enough, is where I got this beer. As yet, they don't stock it on Mars, unfortunately, for any Martians watching. It says they offer a cosmos, even, of juicy, funky discovery and a wormhole to the world of sour beer. Redder than the red planet, aromas of citric, malic and lactic acidity. It's juiced to the outer limits and lightly tannic on the palate with barnyard funky undertones, Dry with light vinous red wine notes, a crisp and refreshing finale. Well, they say finale. I'm starting the night with it. It's Saturday night, and I thought, yeah, I'll give it a crack. So we can see through. You might not be able to see on camera, but I can tell looking through the glass with the lights on. There is a sort of pinky hue to it. Let's see. Let's crack it open. Right, we're going to pour into the Brewdog glass. The pour is... Oh, it is very red. And sparkly. I can see it jumping up. Listen to that. Listen to that crispy, sharp effervescence, and it's gone. There's your beer in a glass. Look all the way. It's hazy. It's pink. It's bubbly. It's like watching little jumping beans just on top of the beer. It looks like a sour. Does it smell like one? Yeah, it does. To be fair. It's got that acidity that you can get, you know, that real sharp, that if you got it up your nose, it would burn. There is an element of raspberry there. It's right. The acidity comes first, then the raspberry. It's quite sweet raspberry, which is quite surprising to me. And that finishes off the aroma. Kind of acidity, raspberry, gone. Really quite looking forward to this because I do love raspberries. Anyway, no head obviously. The carbonation has calmed right down now, and the aromas are good. Let's dive in for a taste. That's tart. There is that acidity. There's that sherbet-like quality in this one, because it's a really sweet raspberry that comes through, and that, like I say, it's reminiscent of sherbet. It's really, really pleasant. Body is to be expected as sort of light to light middle, and the finish is kind of, again, sherbety. You could say the flavour is a little one-dimensional in that sense, but it's a very, very tasty flavour, and you don't mind that. The raspberry is much more prominent on the nose than it is on the palate, but it's there, and it's very, very nice. I was expecting a little bit more funkiness to the flavour, given the mention of it in the blurb. So yeah, funky undertones. Not a lot of that going on, but I'll forgive it because the main flavour is quite tasty. It's dry. It's dry. Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. Light vinous red wine notes. Well, I'm not a big fan of red wine. I'm really not of cheap red wine anyway. There are some good red wines that aren't tasting like vinegar. This doesn't taste like vinegar. So hopefully this tastes like a good red wine. I can see what they're getting at. A crisp and refreshing finale. It's very crisp. It is very refreshing. And we are verging on spring here in the UK. Excuse me, more. Now I can see exactly where that beer will be used. In the summer, you know, if you manage to freeze this, it would make lovely ice lollies. A real ice lolly surprise. In fact, if you get this done soft serve, I think that'd be really, really impressive. That would be tasty as hell. Anywho, Overworks Cosmic Crush Raspberry Sour, what do I think of you? Would I buy you again? Yeah, I would. I like that flavour. I like sherbet. It reminds me of my childhood, and I like that little element of raspberry that's there as well. Obviously, the raspberry is more prominent, as I said, on the nose than it is on the palate. So if you're going in expecting a huge like raspberry jam flavour with a big citric kick, it's not there, unfortunately. But it's kind of a hint of raspberry on the palate, and it's very nice indeed. It is dry. It is crisp. It works as a sour very, very well, and I like it. Would I rush out and buy it again? Yeah, I would, because it's available easily from Tesco at $2.50 a bottle, I think it was. I think, maybe, I'm not sure, I'll have to go and double check. I'll stick a description, something in the description about the price from Tesco as it currently stands of March the 14th, 2020. Yeah, I would rush out and buy it again. Would I give it top marks though? No, because like I say, it's a little one-dimensional. It could benefit from a little something else. They mentioned the funky notes, and I would have liked a little bit of that Brett type funk going on. There's none of that. That would have definitely added to the little package and made it a much more truthful to the Bible of bullshit, as I've heard it called a few times now. But that's not to take away from the flavour, because it's really nice. What would I give it? Can I find any reason to knock it down much further than sort of 4.5? I've had better sours, but I've had a lot worse sours as well. So I'm going to give the Overworks Cosmic Crush Raspberry Sour 4.25 out of 5 on the old Untapped score sheet. And I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of this beer very, very much indeed, because it brings on the feeling of summer. So before I bugger off and leave you to your beer-based goodness, some buttons down there. You've got likes, dislikes, comments and subscription. Use any of them that you wish. And I will say this has been The Beer. I've been Nick, and I will see you again soon for another video. Bye.